Hey, what's up?
Yo,
How you doing?
what you?
Good. We are live. Let me turn my camera on. Let's see here. Cam. Yo, Carbon, did you know what you wanted to talk about tonight?
Not really.
Okay. I was wondering. I got a couple things, but I was just wondering if you had anything.
Not really.
Let's see, where's OBS at? Ah, there it is. Right. Okay. All right, got my camera on. All right, let's do our introductions. We'll start with you, Carbon. I'll give you a solo layout here. What you working on?
Right now, I'm working the character I technically started last year. I'm just trying to finish it so I can upload a video to my YouTube channel. I'm actually working on 2 videos, actually. That's why I didn't really sculpt anything. I finished the Sephiroth head if you want me to show that one off, but
Yeah, let's see it. So who's the character that you're working on now?
it's basically an OC. It's not a particular character. I mean, she has technically one of the. I'm gonna make her multiple outfits, so this is just one of her outfits.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I would say it's the other outfit I started working on.
Yeah, man, looks good. So this one doesn't have any like color or texture shit.
I mean, I have some. Check back on the body, and I turn the other dress off. I have some basic textures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember seeing this one. Yeah, it looks good, man.
Like I remade the hair. Like since I've gotten better at hair, I kind of remade the hair. I can show you real quick. Here's the new hair.
Yeah. Give us a before and after. Yeah.
you can.
I like both of them, but I see what you're saying. The newer one has
Yeah, because he would call it like snowman shapes. He said for when I make hair, it can't just be all like the same.
Yeah,
a lot more variation.
Yeah,
this isn't inherently bad. It's just that one adds way more variation.
It's more variation. Yeah, there's something about that one I like too, though.
Yeah, it's not inherently bad. It's just
Yeah. Okay. I see. Yeah. This one gives them more character.
And then she also has some Dragon Part 2. So I made the hair actually,
sort of like that one lady from that Maid show. What's that show called? The Dragon Maid show.
Yeah, you're talking about Thor from Dragon Man. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made like a cute tail than a real dragon tail.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's more my art style anyway, so I might as well stick with that. Yeah. And then I was trying to make like some, I don't know what this is. I was trying to add some little shape here. Radio's gonna make the art now. That's kind of boring, so let me give some horns, I guess, since she's the dragon.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Kind of reminds me of Mr. Satan's logo from Dragon Ball Z.
And I'm trying to add like a little bit of asymmetry here. I'm probably gonna make this like fishness, the black, like this one here and then this one here.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I just used a bunch of references and just kind of made an outfit out of it. That's basically
it looks good though. It's coming out good though.
And then even with the Sephiroth one, I felt the hair came out pretty good on that one. How would you tell me? I can find this thing.
Sephiroth.
I opened the wrong thing. Oh, what the world? That's the wrong thing.
Yeah, that's the thing from
yeah.
Board Girl.
I had opened up the wrong eyes. I mean, I've been in the wrong folder, man. What the hell's going on? There you go.
Tonight we do have an art subject that I wanted to discuss that I think could be pretty interesting. Oh yeah, that came out good, man.
Actually, let me pull up the render. Let me get this camera out of here. Hello?
Yeah, that was good. Not bad at all.
I see. Unlike the other ones, I actually tried to make the hair with just strands. Like normally, I would have tried to sculpt that completely, but I was like, I want to use only curves. You know,
Yeah.
which I feel like I did a pretty good job for
Yeah, it
this.
looks good. Yeah.
You know, and then there's some references of it. Even there was one specific reference I referenced, I don't have it on here, but you know, based more for that one. But yeah, I feel like it came pretty good, and I feel like I kind of have like a similar style to the one I did with Cloud. So I feel I'm kind of able to make
Yeah.
characters within the same style, but still look different. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I feel like my faces have definitely gotten better. Because that was
Oh
kind of
yeah,
the
most
main goal
definitely.
of
Yeah.
my mentorship. And I want to see, you
Practicing.
can
Yeah.
definitely see how the brow connects the nose properly compared to how I used to
Yeah.
do it. There's still improvements I could do in the nose, but it's a lot better than the stuff I was making.
Yeah. One thing I noticed too that I think you've gotten better on, I think he's mentioned it before too, is like your lighting and even though it's not like super textured, the textures are good enough, you know what I'm saying, to make it, look right.
Yeah.
So are you using the same textures? Like you got a texture for skin, texture for hair, texture for thing.
It's just, dude, this
Just
is a basic shade. I didn't, like for the milk hair, because I don't put anything on it. I just literally just shade.
so it's just
But
good
female
lighting.
hair, look at like a little bit of blush, maybe a little bit of pink of the lips. But
Yeah.
I don't go full texture how I would in substance paint.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said that wasn't the objective of this assignment. The objective was to sculpt good looking faces. That's like the main
Which I
objective.
think you're doing a good job because you don't have to rely on textures to make it look good. Like the sculpting already kind of.
Yeah, he said focus on your strong suit, and he knows texturing is kind of one of my weaker skills. So I mean, it's going to take a lot longer to build that up. He said, "Why not build up a skill you're already somewhat good at, you know, and refine that?" And that's basically what I've been doing with these head sculpts for. I've been doing this for like it's almost 4 months, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been wow. But I feel like I can see the improvement.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Good job, man. Good job.
And then the other video I'm working on is a video that compares like the paid methods of learning art. So it's basically going to compare college to like paid tutorials and a mentorship, and the pros and the cons of picking each one of those.
Yeah.
So I'm making a video off of that too. So I technically experience all of them, and I can give a video. So before somebody spends a ton of money on one of the three, you know, and I can kind of give them a.
Make sure you put the caveat on the college one that you went during COVID.
Yeah.
You didn't have the best experience.
And I gotta put a caveat. What's the cheapest college I can go to? That definitely I feel like makes a difference.
Yeah, that's true, dude. All right, man. Good job. We'll move on to a bad knee joke. All right, man. What you working on?
Just sketching out stuff tonight, man.
That's good though.
I gotta take some pictures tomorrow for my backgrounds. So I'm gonna be out and about.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. Yeah.
What's the character based on? McMurray.
Oh God. Did you finish the last one?
I gotta put some backgrounds on it. I restarted redrawing the pants because I didn't like it. So, but I'm probably gonna have it up and about on by next week.
All right, cool.
I got something. They got Sinners. The second trailer came out.
Wait, hold on. Same here, man. I'm pretty much done with the with it. I got to put some shades. I decided to put the arm things back on. I gave her like a leg warming covering thing. I just got to put some shades on those, and I'm done. I can move on to the other angles, which won't take me as long since I got the textures down that I want. I got the look that I want. So it's just a matter of, spending the day and filling out the rest of the angles. And I'll move on to some stuff for the animation. All right, let's get to it then. Let's see. Let me share my screen. So you wanted to talk about Sinners tonight too?
Yes.
All right. Hold on. The first trailer that I actually wanted to look at was actually a new horror movie called, have you guys heard of this, called The Woman in the Yard?
I don't know what that is, bro.
I'm with him. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
It's called The Woman in the Yard. Friend of mine told me about it. I saw the trailer, I forgot about it, but my friend of mine told me about it and reminded me of it. To look at it, but I had already seen it. I was like, we should probably talk about that during the podcast. So let me do a present here. Share screen. I wonder, you guys notice I got some background music playing?
I hear it.
I can't hear that, dude.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering if when I start the trailer, if it'll turn off or I just manually turn it off. About to find out.
It's a perfect time to work out technical difficulties, but okay.
All right. Nope, I'm going to turn it off. So we'll just pause it. All right, you guys tell me if you can hear this.
I can hear that.
Cool.
Mommy.
Damn, why does it always do that? As soon as I start the thing, it'll skip like
That's
that, or
'cause
it'll pause.
All those ads, that's one to pop up on your feed because you already use ad block.
It might be a ad, and I do have ad blocks. I don't know why it's doing it.
The ad block you use.
I know the ad blocks haven't been working as well though.
You need to use Brave, man. I keep telling you, Brave browser is the only way to go.
Yeah, I probably should get the Brave browser.
It's free.
Yeah.
And it blocks ads by default. You don't have to worry about no ad block.
This is ridiculous, dude. Let me refresh it. See what happens.
Mommy, are you gonna have a good day today or a bad day?
I just feel so sorry.
How bad Daddy is dead. We're still gonna live here?
Hey, Jason. Doritos? I like it. And Mom, there's a woman in the yard.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Where'd she come
I
from?
don't know that either. Maybe she's dead.
Mama!
Come here, baby. It's nothing to be scared of, okay?
Daddy will know what to do.
All right.
Hello? Can I help you? My husband will be back very soon.
We both know your husband's not coming home. I don't come unless I'm called. Today's the day.
Why is her face covered?
How did she get here?
Mama, I think she's closer.
Hey, you got 10 seconds to get off my property.
You children are such darlings, ripe enough to eat.
Who is this woman? Huh? I am trying to protect you. Close the blinds, Kate. She needs the light to make a shadow. Come on.
You've been praying for me. Let me help you like you asked me to.
Stay away from my family.
Today's the day.
All right. So what do you guys think?
I feel like it's definitely a cool concept. It's just her main line is kind of lame. Today's the day. Like, I can make her say something cooler than that.
Yeah. That's the only thing I don't like. It's just that's kind of corny, but the shots, like the
I'm like, the concept is cool.
the
Like,
cut
I'm not gonna lie.
stuff
Like
is
the
actually-
ladies appear in the yard.
Yeah, that was and what I like too is that a lot of the freaky stuff they're doing is all in bright daylight, so it's not relying too much on tricks. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess there's a lot of it's jump scares, but
I mean, they're still doing a lot of shadow stuff, but
It's some good, yeah, it's just some good shots and even cuts in that trailer. I thought was pretty good.
I'm
So
going to watch this one. This one seems like it could be
yeah,
interesting.
I think we should go see this one too. In fact, when does Sinners come out? Sinners should be coming out pretty soon, right?
Next month.
It should be.
I mean, next month is not a couple days away. Like what day?
I think 15.
Huh? April 18th. That's when it comes out. So that's what day is that? That's you guys want to go see that and then do a review on it? I think we said we were going to do that.
What day is it?
It's on a Friday. It's like 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Yeah, it's on a Friday. And then when's The Woman in the Yard come out? The Woman. What I've noticed ever since Key and Peele did Get Out, you're starting to see more and more horror movies based on kind of like on African American culture, which I think is cool. I think that's cool, man, because for a long time we weren't really present in the horror scene. That with movies that
the
kind
first one to die.
yeah. But what was I saying? Our culture, we were always kind of like a second hand, whatever. Yeah, like you said, being one of the first ones to die or something, or the sidekick to another character, or the friend of another character, or something like that. But I think doing movies based on African American culture and lore, it has its own kind of creepiness to it, man. And there's so much things you could explore that you could, add history to it and it'd be pretty freaky. I do that in some of my own short stories. The only one that one of the earliest ones I could think of that they actually did was Candyman.
Rest in peace, Tony Todd, man.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, matter of fact, is he going to be in the new Final Destination movie? Wasn't it like one of his last roles?
I don't know.
I think he is. But I remember that first. I think both of the first two movies are actually pretty good, but I remember that first movie being really poetic and just creepy. I remember being so creeped out by it when I was a kid. Was Candyman, but it was the first kind of like horror movie that I had seen that was based on African American lore. I mean, when you research his story, like how he becomes Candyman, it's pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. I mean, it's horror within itself without you don't even have to add the supernatural stuff. It's just scary. But that remake they did, hot garbage, just straight garbage, just absolute garbage. It's like some stuff, just leave it alone. And that's one of the things they should have left alone. But let's see, when does The Woman in the Yard come out? Let's see. It's March 28th. Oh, wow. So it came out today. You guys want to see this next week?
Yeah, what day?
Let's see. You guys want to go? Let's see. You guys want to go? We can go Thursday and then review it on Friday, or we can go early Friday and then review it that night. It's up to y'all.
Sure, I'm not doing anything.
Let me write it down. What I do with my pen? I had a nice pen, Japanese pen. Yeah, I'll get it later. All right, yeah, let's check it out. So, any other thoughts about the trailer before we move on? I will take that as a no. And we'll move on to the next subject. The next subject is something else I wanted to talk about. It's really been bugging me lately.
What's up?
We'll watch the trailer. DC released a new animated film. I think it's called Batman Ninja.
Second one, actually. It's terrible.
Uh-huh.
Your father knows about saving money.
Dang, man.
Everything.
And
Terrible,
I started
terrible,
watching
like
it the other night.
Terrible, just like our
Yeah,
MCs,
Yeah, I was. I didn't. Well, we'll just watch the trailer, then we'll talk about it.
Hello, Batman. Good to see you. I guess they weren't kidding about raining Yakuza. Well, yeah, of course. Raining men just like it always does.
What the huh?
I went to search for deviations in modern-day Japan, but as you can see...
Japan is gone?
It gets worse. It would seem that Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, and Flash have also disappeared.
So we now find ourselves without a Justice League, which tells us that history has been changed. We need to recover the Quake engine, and then use it to return space-time back to normal.
Is that Green Lantern?
Now say goodbye!
Wonder Woman, of course.
Yakuza families are all that exist. There is no government nor law enforcement.
Within the ranks of the Japanese Yakuza are sacrificial assassins sent to kill the bosses of rival syndicates.
Stopping the Quake engine is our top priority right now.
Once we destroy it, Hinamoto should go back to being part of its original world.
The only one who gets the pleasure of killing the Batman is me!
The Yakuza League will restore peace and harmony back to the world.
Now, let's get this party started!
Gotham City will be crushed.
All right. Here's what
Can
I'll
I say
say.
something?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Batman's voice sounds terrible. One.
I was gonna say that, like, whoever's doing the voice acting for Batman, I mean, it's just awful. It's just awful. But what I was gonna say was, I sat down or I laid down because I was like, all right, I'll watch something and fall asleep on whatever it is, right? And I saw, oh, look, DC has a new animation. It's called Batman Ninja. I was like, okay, they're doing like a period piece type of thing for Batman again. It's not my favorite type of thing to do with the character, but whatever. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised by the animation. As soon as I turned it on and I saw the shitty 3D graphics, I just turned it off. I was like, I'll just go to sleep. This is an abomination. This is a true abomination.
You guys are, it's not even that bad. Okay, the animation,
bad.
but the character
It's
models
bad.
themselves are well made. The
It's
animation doesn't go
bad.
with
It's
this
bad.
art
It's bad.
style.
It's bad. It's
That's
bad.
the
It's
problem.
bad. It's bad. It's horrible. They need to stop doing
It's not even that
if you're
bad.
not going to do what's it called, Into the Spider-Verse, don't do this, because this is an abomination. This is an abomination on all fronts.
Dude, nobody has that budget, bro.
Yeah.
You know how big
They
their
don't do
budget
it. Don't do it. Pay the freaking 2D animators. They just animate the damn thing properly. You know what I'm saying?
Man, 2D
This is
animators are
awful.
expensive now too.
This is awful. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, are they serious? Not to mention, I just think the concept is dumb. I mean, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to do a Japanese version of the crime ticket, like Ultraman.
And this thing is technically a
Superwoman and all
sequel, I
that.
think. There's
I get
already
it.
like a Batman Japan type movie, and that already happened. Another 3D one
Yeah,
before
that
this.
first one was terrible too.
Yeah, but I think
That
that
means
takes
enough
place,
people like that one for
I think,
the
and I think
a
that takes
sequel,
place
bro.
in-
What do you mean?
But I don't think this is a sequel, because I think that takes place in like an alternate universe.
No.
Whereas this right here it's supposed to be regular Batman. Is it a sequel?
Yes, it's a sequel.
Then why is it
That's why
that
enough
why
people
is,
liked it.
then why do they have that? If it's a sequel, why do they have that one concept in the trailer where it's like basically like a portal opened up and the samurai version of the DC League or the DC is kind of like invading on the regular world?
The hell if I know, but they're both terrible.
How's it a sequel?
I don't know.
Well, let's look it up.
I didn't even- I didn't even give it a chance.
I mean, you guys might be right. I didn't get the sequel.
No, because I remember seeing one in Japan in the same exact art style as this. That already happened. That's why I'm like, this has to be a sequel because they copied the same exact art style for that one. And usually for these like 3D adaptations, they wouldn't copy the same exact art style usually.
Yeah, it says it's Batman versus Yakuza League is a sequel to the 2018 anime film Batman Ninja, and it was released on March 18th, 2025. Here's a more specific detailed breakdown. Let's see. Okay, so I guess because I didn't watch the older movie for the same reason, but it says in the sequel, the Batman finally has returned to the present. So I guess in the old one, he goes to the past to discover that.
But enough people liked it for them to make a sequel. Though they wouldn't make a sequel. People didn't like it.
I mean, people like this garbage.
I mean, the 3D itself is not bad. It's the animation.
It's bad. I'm sorry, it's bad.
Well with the art style.
It's bad.
No, it isn't. That is good.
It's bad. So then the 3D is bad. So the 3D is bad.
Good.
Like
the
however you want to, however you want to slice it, whether it be the animation, whether it be the modeling, whether it be the voice acting.
The modeling's not the problem.
It's awful. This is an abomination. This is an
not
absolute
that bad
abomination. And I think it's ridiculous that people support this shit. This utter
it's not that bad.
Crap.
What do you want to do? You want to do AI? What are you complaining about, bro?
Look at Batman's face. Like, why does his face look like that? Hold on, let me bring it up.
It's got to be.
Man, you would be glad they're paying artists still. They could be using AI to make this whole movie. Like, what do you want them to do? At least 8 artists got this job. Man,
I was going to compare to AI. I was going to compare to AI. I was like, you know how everyone says that there's AI, a lot of AI slop being created, which is true. I think before AI, there was a lot of 3D slop being created, and this is 3D slop. Look at this dude's face.
Can you make better than this?
You're gonna sit here. You're gonna sit here. You're gonna tell me
to make it better than this.
Wait, wait. You're gonna sit here. You're gonna tell me that that's good modeling right there.
That's still good model. He might not look like a good character, but it's still modeled well. That doesn't mean the modeling's not well if the character is ugly.
Look at the proportions on his face. You're gonna sit me and tell me that looks good.
But that's not a modeling issue.
That's definitely a modeling issue, or at least that's
a proportion issue. That doesn't have.
So it's modeling. So it's part of modeling.
Knows how to model.
Wait. So if I draw a picture and my proportions are wrong, they're going to say, "Hey, your drawing's off. That's bad drawing." So if you're a 3D artist, So if you're a 3D artist, proportions don't matter. That's what you're saying.
It's different than modeling, okay? If you have good topology,
it's not different.
Topology,
this is shit.
It does not mean anything to do with proportions.
Quit trying to defend it. You know this is shit. Dude.
It's not
Come on,
bad.
man.
Like it's still a solid model.
Yes, it's bad.
Like,
yeah, I agree. It's bad. It's
a solid model.
It's bad.
Bro.
Yes, it's bad. It's bad.
Like this is still better than most of the freaking hobby artists, including me. Like this is better than most low-level artists. I'm talking, it just is.
Like look how low his ears are compared to where his eyes are. And they let this out as professional work. Mr. Badney, you got it. You have to see what I'm talking about here, right?
I agree with you totally. I just like hearing one 3D artist in the crew. They're trying to spend his media.
I defend this. I don't get like this is garbage.
This is terrible.
This is
3D. This is 3D slop. We have to start acknowledging this type of thing. Like I'm not against 3D art or 3D animation. It's not my favorite thing.
When you guys be complaining when you see any,
it's not my favorite.
Spider-Verse or Guilty Gear, most people for one don't have the technical skill to do that. It takes a large team to do that, and they don't have the budget to do that.
Look, it's not my favorite thing, but when something is done well, I'm going to give it credit, whether it's my favorite thing or not. This is not done well,
dude. But like what I said,
this is not done well.
Budget.
This is not. They don't have the budget to hire people to give Batman some right freaking proportions on his face. They don't have the budget for that.
No,
they do. Come on, man. Come on,
bro. DC is struggling right now, bro. What do you mean? After every flop they've had, DC is struggling. Okay, you act like they can just hire the best artists. They can't do that now, bro.
You're making all kind of excuses for slop, man. Slop.
No, you want no. You want to look who made this? We can look at the person who made. We can search right now. Who is the model, the head lead character modeler for this? We can look it up and we can see their whole portfolio if you want to do it right now. Yeah, if you want to really judge the artist.
Batman.
We can search that right now.
Ninja. Star budget. All right.
It's terrible.
Do you know what
And
the
this
production?
artist was most likely Rush.
Do you know what the production budget is for this film?
How much?
$18 million freaking dollars. I don't want to hear it.
That doesn't mean it went to the character. You already know how movies go. Most of that goes straight to the director, and the artists get nothing. Artists don't make money.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This is garbage.
You search up who made the character model. That's who you need to search up. Okay.
Look, I don't care. Well, why would it matter? Why would it matter if we search who we made it? Why did they hire them if they saw what their previous work was? This is garbage.
We need to look at the portfolio to judge that. We don't know what their previous work was.
What do you look? Why do we gotta look at the portfolio? We're looking at the final result of a film that.
But there are way other. This is only one character of many. We need to judge every character. You can't just judge off of one character. You can make one mistake, bro.
I can't believe how much you're supporting this. I mean, especially some kind of 3D artist bias or something like.
I'm
this
not
is garbage.
Being biased. What do you mean?
Why can't we just admit this is garbage?
This isn't that bad.
Why can't we just admit
this
that?
isn't?
Why can't we say, hey, look, this doesn't look good?
It really
this doesn't look
bro.
good.
In comparison to a lot of 3D stuff I've seen, this isn't that bad. And remember, most movies are made to the common consumer, and the common consumer.
I mean, I remember sitting down. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this because I've liked DC animations in the past.
Keyword being.
Yeah, and I remember as soon as it came on, I was like, "What is this garbage? What is this?" I'm about to pull this one up.
Like, this is way.
I mean, it just looks so
than that Berserk. You can't compare it to the Berserk anime. This looks way better than that.
Look, I'm saying it's all slop. It's all slop. It's all garbage. Like, look at this. What is this? What is this?
It's him hitting a guy. Like,
this is shit. That's what this is. No, you didn't say it right. This is shit.
What are you talking about?
This is shit. That's what this is.
This isn't garbage. That bad. Like,
you know what this looks like? You know what this looks like? You know what this looks like? There's a filter in that program, SketchUp. This looks like they put SketchUp filters on this. That's what this looks like. That's what this looks like. SketchUp sketchy filters. That's what this looks like.
Is that inherently a bad thing? Like,
yes, it's bad. It's for 18. Yes, for 18. I would say yes for $18 million budgeted film. I would say yes, that's bad. Yes, that is bad. This is garbage. We gotta admit when we see garbage. This is 3D slop. This is 3D slop. Matter of fact, I was watching.
You can't compare this to Berserk. Come on.
I was watching.
You want to post pictures of Berserk?
Look. I'm not comparing it to anything. I'm judging it for what it is. It's trash. It's trash.
In comparison to what? It's not.
In fact, I was watching that one anime you keep talking about called was it Ray Zero? Because I want to see, okay, what Caleb keeps bringing up this anime. What's the big deal? Now I started watching. I think I got to like episode maybe 8 or 9. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little bored with it. The whole, him having to keep dying and stuff like that was getting a little annoying. I was like, I kind of want them to kind of move along with the story or whatever. But it was interesting. But one of the first thing I noticed was some of the backgrounds.
Yeah, it's bad season 1. That's bad.
Yeah, it was 3D, but it wasn't so jarring that it took me out of what I was watching because the main character was 2D. They did it for background stuff, stuff they didn't want to spend a lot of time and money on to do. And I was like, what, I'll give them a pass or whatever. But when I saw this, I was like, this is like an insult.
This is not an insult. People have mind that the 3D industry can't go anywhere, bro. If we don't progress.
The reason why I say it's an insult is because you're too young, but me and Mr. Pegleg.
What do you mean?
We come from an era. It's called the golden age of anime. And when you saw the quality that was produced, most of it was probably 99.9% of it was mostly done by hand. You know what I'm saying? They were doing 3D stuff back then too, but back then they merged it way better. But we come from a different era. So when I see that, and I was like, people accept this? Y'all accept this? It just to me, it's like, and we're gonna talk later about
Dude, this is not bad. But I look at like a lot of like tune shaded, like
we're gonna talk
3D
later
stuff,
about the
and I'm like, as far as 3D tune shading goes,
this is
is
trash.
considered higher quality.
This is
Most
trash.
people can't achieve Guilty Gear or Spider-Verse levels because that requires the highest budget and the highest technical
I don't
level.
care.
Like,
this
most
is
people
trash.
can't do
I
that,
don't care.
bro.
You're making all kinds of excuses.
I'm being honest, bro.
No,
Like,
you're
look
making
at what
excuses.
it takes to do
You're
something
making
like
excuses.
Spider-Verse.
Instead of just saying,
or
all right,
Guilty Gear.
well, let's get to the root of it. Quit putting like, little caveats on it and stuff. Like, give me your honest, like, would you sit down and would you watch this and say, hey, look, this is beautiful?
Would I say it's beautiful? I haven't seen the movie, but
it's just a little simple no yes or no
not
question.
the best thing
Would
I've
you
ever
sit
seen.
down and
It's
say, hey,
definitely
look,
not the worst. You guys acting like this is the worst thing. Like,
more caveats.
It's not worse than that 3D
caveats.
Berserk. I'm sorry,
More
you're acting
caveats.
like it's the worst thing ever, and it's
caveats.
not. Like,
more caveats. It's
as
a simple
far
question.
as 3D tune shading goes, as far as the models and everything, I'm like,
it was a simple
would
question.
be considered higher quality. I've seen a
simple
lot of
question.
like 3D tune shading.
It was a simple question. You couldn't answer the question. It's a simple question. Look, I get that there are budgets. I get that, there are constraints and stuff like that. I get that. But I'm like, my God, I've seen where people have created good work with constraints. A good example would be the movie Terminator, the first Terminator movie. There's a reason why that movie is more beloved than those shitty ass freaking Avatar movies that James Cameron has been creating, over the last decade or whatever. How long? When did the first one come out? 2012. So whatever. Because he had constraints, and he was able to do something with constraints and still create a masterful piece of art. You cannot sit here and tell me that this is a masterful piece of art. This is garbage. 3D
I don't think
slop.
that's the goal of every film, though, dude.
That's what this is. So that's the other problem. Hollywood is hiring people, and they're just hiring. I guess you guys can do that. So no one's sitting down and curating talent anymore. Just say, oh yeah, you do 3D. Yeah, come on in, do this. No one's saying,
no one would have a chance in the if they did it your way,
saying, how did this stands out a little bit more? Let's try this. Let's go with this route. Let's do this over here. Oh, look, he's doing an interesting technique. Let's try this. You know what I'm saying? What is this?
Bro,
this looks like.
But at least that gives everybody a chance to get in the industry. If you go that way, man, nobody gonna have a chance.
Participation trophy. Now it's like everything's about participation trophy. That's what it's about now. Everyone gives a participation trophy. No, it doesn't matter if you're creating freaking slop. Doesn't matter. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm old fashioned. You're right. You're right. You're right. You guys are right. Maybe I'm just old fashioned.
You guys.
It's not even that bad. I don't know what you're talking about. This doesn't.
What I mean is that it got to
goes. It's objectively pretty good. Like, I don't know what you're
subjectively. No, this is objectively bad. This is objectively bad.
As far as 3D tune shading goes, this is pretty good, bro. Unless you're talking about highest level,
this is shit.
I said, most people can't even do that, bro.
This is shit. This is straight garbage, and we just gotta be honest about that.
It isn't, bro. Like, it really isn't. It's not. Dude, it is. It's not that bad. Like, you were overreacting. You were seriously overreacting.
Not that bad. Which means it's bad.
No, you're trying to think it's not.
You're saying it's not that bad because you want to give all these caveats and whatnot. I'm like, man, just look at it for what it is. It's garbage.
No, it isn't, man.
This is an abomination. This is an abomination to all the great anime that's come out in years past.
Dude, no, it isn't, bro.
Look, and if I was a direct, I would be ashamed of this.
Now that Flash image is 2D, or it's 3D, but it's good. But everything else is shit.
You guys are literally just saying that because of the medium it's in. That's like the main reason you guys are saying this.
No. I
mean,
if something is
it's
good,
not my fault the medium is stiff.
But like what I said, most people can't achieve the highest level of tune shaded 3D. It's hard to do. You need a massive budget. You need a team. The Spider-Verse had a team of hundreds of people.
But the tune shading, but the tune shading isn't even the worst thing about it. It's the way it moves. It's all stiff and stuff.
Like I said, that's the animation's fault, bro.
I mean,
like I was telling you, it's
I
not
would
the
even say,
character
even, I would
modeling.
even
It's
say,
nothing to do with the model or anything else. Is the
I would
is the
even
anime
say,
because they chose the
I
style,
never
but
said
didn't
anything.
animate it properly.
You know what's funny is like you keep straw manning us. You keep saying, okay, it's the modeling, it's the modeling, it's the modeling. Look, I do have some issues with the modeling, but you know, it's not the only thing I'm talking about. Like, yeah, I think
the animation is
Batman's
the main
face.
problem.
Yeah, I think Batman's face looks fucked up. I'm sorry, it looks bad. It looks bad.
I mean,
it looks bad. I'm sorry. It's not that bad. I mean, I just don't. I mean, let's pull it up again. I mean, you know,
He wears a mask most of the time, but like, who cares about Bruce Wayne? Like when I watch Batman, I don't watch Batman for no Bruce Wayne.
See how
like,
he has to make all these like caveats and excuses, and you know,
bro, it's Batman, not Bruce Wayne the movie. It's
come on, man,
Batman. Look at him in his mask. Okay,
why can't you
like,
just
bro,
look? So why can't you say this is bad? Why can't you say that?
Because it's not that bad. It's
so
okay.
Bad. So it's bad.
Okay.
No, it's not. This is not okay. This is not okay.
It's okay.
This is not okay. I mean, do we really?
It's okay.
Do we really
have to be perfection? It doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 for the movie to be successful. Really have to bring it? Like it's literally a whole.
You know, I agree.
Like, somebody had to like it for the sequel.
I agree. I would agree that the aesthetics don't have to be a 10 out of 10 for the movie to be good. I agree with that. I do agree with that. But this was so bad. It looked so bad that I couldn't even give it a shot. I was like, I'm turning this off.
But you guys have a super critical
give it a shot.
Look, most movies are made for average people. They aren't made for artists. Like artists don't make content for artists. They make it for regular people that consume it and pay them.
Let me ask you this. Now I want you to give me an honest response. Are you going to sit here and tell me that there's nothing anatomically wrong with this dude's face right now?
Like it's just stylized, isn't it? When you stylize stuff, can't you make it any way you want to?
No.
Isn't the point of stylizing stuff?
No. Like when you stylize something, right? You might exaggerate things to create a certain feel, right? This right here, I wouldn't say it's realistic, but it has pretty realistic proportions for the most part. Semi-realistic, I would say. These proportions are off, dude. The way his ears are sitting on his head is off. You know what I'm saying? Look at how, and you know, Batman usually does have a pretty broad chin, but this is right here. This is just, you know, Peg Leg. Remember that movie with Sharon and called Mask? You know what I'm talking about?
Let's move on to the next subject. I'm still here.
No, we're not done. We're not done.
Hey, we're done. What do you want this to say? Yeah, I remember that. I'm trying to figure out how Apartment is defending this. You're saying it's
I don't get it. Like it's okay. Like,
come on, man.
Act like
that's what Batman looks like.
Like what the world?
It is quite terrible.
That's what it looks like.
Every movie has to be the best to achieve their goal. Like we don't even know what their goal was to achieve with this film.
All right. All right, I'm gonna go to the number one subject you're always talking about. The goal is to make money. Kids don't.
They're going to make money. They already made one film. They're going to make money.
And the first film was trash.
For you, the movie wasn't made for you. It's made to the average DC fan.
And if you guys know, I am the average DC fan.
You are not. I'm sorry. You are
I prefer DC far over Marvel. But guess what? That movie is trash. It looks like trash.
G-Flux are overly critical of almost every movie, Mo. The average fan is not that critical. Hold on.
I can count on one hand how many movies that me and G-Flux have agreed on. So don't give me that nonsense. He is the king of liking terrible movies. Spider-Man 3, G-Flux, by the way, is terrible.
Spider-Man 3 is not a
pretty popular movie though.
Spider-Man 3 is trash.
I still don't get why people hated that movie so much. I mean, I don't think it was good as the first two.
Well, let's look at how much the first movie sold. Especially the first movie. How much box office sales did it make?
All right, so the animated film Batman Ninja earned a total of $3 million.
How much of a budget?
I don't know, but
how much of a budget?
I don't know, but the second
it can't be no $3 million, bro.
It says right here. Now this is AI. We don't know, but I'm just going off the first thing I see here. It says the animated film Batman Ninja earned a total of $3 million from domestic.
If it earned $3 million, that'd be a film. There ain't no way they earned $3 million to make a sequel.
I mean, to me, it makes sense because all right, you're not going to earn that much for streaming, and as far as like DVDs and stuff like that, people don't buy DVDs like that no more. So if the thing costs, so now I don't know how much the first one cost, but I'm assuming it's going to be like around a similar budget to the second one, so they use similar style and everything. I'm pretty sure it's probably around the same length of movie, so I'm going to assume like around 18 million. But let's look it up just in case. Batman Ninja movie budget.
You aren't searching up anything, bro.
I'm on a different tab. It doesn't say it has a public budget. So we can all we can do is assume that it costs around the same amount, maybe a little less. Well, no, because sometimes the first movies cost more than the especially if the movie didn't do well. But the reason why I might have got a sequel too is because it was already in the works. They already spent the money to do it. So it could have been too that both movies cost around 18 million. But still, if that's the case, it's that means the first movie would have cost like 9 million to make. So you're still losing. So I mean, this is garbage. It's 3D slop.
Bro,
We
it
should
really isn't. It is not, bro.
We should have coined that
It's
when they started doing this lame ass 3D shit for everything. We should have coined that a similar term that they're doing with AI now. It's 3D slop. Laziness and 3D slop.
You're gonna be saying now until they start making movies just straight out of AI.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. I just don't think that. I mean, it could be wrong. I think that they will start making movies. They'll start using AI in movies. I do think that's going to happen. But just making just a full length 2-hour long movie using all AI. I don't think that's possible. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it like that. It's possible. You could do it. Are people going to watch it? Because everything I've seen from AI or AI what's it called, AI video is, don't get me wrong, some of it looks impressive, but it's not actors, it's not acting, it's and then it's still a sort of a, what's it called, uncanny valley just to it, even though some of it looks cool, but it's not acting. I can see maybe them hiring actors, and then they shoot things on a stage with certain lighting and stuff, and they maybe put like an AI filter over the acting job, sort of like what they do with 3D animation when they put what are those suits called, the motion capture suits. They do something similar, and they just put like an AI filter on it, and then someone say, hey, this is the first feature-length AI, whatever. I could see something like that, and maybe they fine-tune it so that the characters look the same at all angles. I could see something like that, but that technically wouldn't be a full AI movie. It would just be the first movie that's entirely with the AI filter on it. I don't see the complexity yet, and I don't think we'll ever see it, because I don't think I think I could be wrong. But I personally think AI is peaked, and there's some data to kind of suggest that. And some of the lectures I've been listening to about this subject, what they're saying is dumping more and more data into it won't necessarily improve it much more, and it definitely won't make it smarter, because that's not necessarily how intelligence works. And this isn't to downplay what AI can do and some of the cool stuff it can do. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I think a lot of it's being overhyped, and I don't think that we'll be seeing full AI movies anytime soon. Maybe as like an avant-garde experimental type of thing, but it replacing and it definitely using it as tools in movies for sure, but it replacing full-length 2D live action movies or 3D movies or animated movies. I don't see it. But I'm not like an expert at it. If there's anyone out in the audience who thinks differently, please leave comments down below, or come up, leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll send you a link and come up and you can tell me where I'm going wrong on that. But yeah, man, that's what Batman's face looks like. He looks like Mask. He looks like the guy from Mask. It's just like, come on, man, come on. All right, before we get to my last subject. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about before we get to my subject? Because I had 3, but I know you said you wanted to look at the second Sinners trailer.
Yes.
All right, let's pull that up. Or third, yeah.
We're still looking at Batman's deformed face.
Yeah, I know. I'm pulling it up now.
It's not that bad.
Hey man, I'm waiting for Sherry to come up and comfort
We
us,
can
man.
pull up the anatomy chart. It's like, come on, man. There's something wrong with that face, dude.
I'm looking for Sherry's deformed face. Come comfort that man. You're not that bad.
All right, that's the second trailer. Is it called Trailer 3? That's why I tell you guys to send me the links when you see something.
Might be wrong.
Because we've watched the official trailer, and I think we watched the second trailer. Here's a Let Me In clip. This is new. This is 4 days ago. Yeah, this might be it right here. This is 4 days ago. Want to watch this one?
Sure.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Ryan Coogler, director of Sinners.
It's Michael B. Jordan.
We'll sneak up about it. I'm really proud of it.
This is like, our 5th together. I typically watching horror movies. I generally get scared, you know what I'm saying? But
all right, 2 things. Why does Ryan Coogler sound like that? And I didn't know Michael D. Jordan was a bitch like that. You scared of scary movies? Come on, man, stop. Why does he sound like that? Does he have like a voice thing? Well, some people have like little.
They have a speech impediment.
I don't think I've laughed as much, during the process of shooting the movie.
We're gonna give folks a little taste right quick, man. We're gonna put trailers out. We're gonna put this clip out. And obviously, it's cut down to avoid as many spoilers as possible. But it's a really, really great scene to show what are we playing with in a little.
I'm sorry, that's throwing me off. Why is he talking? Why is he talking like that? Does he have a speech impediment?
No, man, it's just
is it an accent? It does kind of sound like an accent, but I'm trying to think what it is.
I don't know.
Where's he from?
I mean, did you sound that when you talked in the movie?
I do remember when the cops yanked him up when he was in that bank because that lady called the cops on him because he had all that cash. It was messed up. It was a black lady who did it too. It was a black Karen who did it. And I remember him talking about it. He sounded similar, and I was like, "Oh, maybe he's just he was like in the street mode because he got yanked up by the cops." But I don't know. When I think of director, they usually sound a little bit more articulate than that. Was it Ryan Coogler? Where is he from? I heard he used to be like a football player. This is not Ryan Coogler. Is that Ryan Coogler? No, that is Ryan Coogler. He looks kind of like the guy that plays Spider-Man's voice in Into Spider-Verse.
Shamar Moore?
Yeah, he looks a little bit like him.
Moore?
Shamik Moore, yeah. At least that image that I just saw. Let's see. Oh, he's from Oakland. Oh, okay, yeah, you can kind of hear it a little bit. Yeah, like the West Coast kind of accent. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. He just had he got a deep West Coast accent.
That man gonna come on our channel and drag us because you sitting there making fun of his voice.
I was making fun of it. I wasn't expecting
it.
It's
canceled, bro.
I wasn't expecting it. I just wasn't expecting it. He just has a deep accent.
Dang, man.
Over the world.
We shot it, in Kodak, 65 millimeter film. Shout out to IMAX, and this is the scene.
Hope folks enjoy it.
What y'all doing? Just step aside and let me on in now.
Why you need him to do that? You big and strong enough to push past us?
Well, that wouldn't be too polite now, would it, Miss Annie? I don't know why I'm talking to you anyway. Smoke.
Don't talk to him. You talking to me right now. Why you can't Just walk your big ass up in here without an invite, huh? Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead.
So you listening to this? Now we out here playing games, telling ghost stories in place of doing what we ought to do.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Being kind to one another. Being polite. Now we is one people, and we shouldn't go in barging into other folks' places uninvited. So we've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then. Yeah, something ain't adding up. Can I at least get my money?
Careful.
All right. Okay.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, this is your subject, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm feeling it because it gives you that old timey feel, and it still has that some of the vampire lore that we grew up on. You know, they have to be invited in, and
yeah,
how the heavyset guy, he's playing off their the familiarity with each other. Because he's always in all the movies I've ever seen him in, he's always played the kind of the happy-go-lucky big guy that everybody loves. And I like it's a departure from other movies for him. He's playing somebody who's menacing.
For some reason, he reminds me so much of like Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get. Yeah, that's the vibe I get from him.
You know, I haven't seen
one thing I like
in a nice guy role in a long time, so I can't say Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, but in his early career, he always played kind of like a nice guy. Or
you know, he reminds me of in the movie that you probably hate, Green Mile. He reminds me of Michael Clark Duncan in that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Green Mile. I think it was okay, but the Shawshank Redemption was a better movie for sure.
That's what rare horror movies.
One thing I liked about the that little teaser that we saw, the little clip from the movie that we saw, is the banjo. You know, the way it was playing in the background, I thought that was pretty cool. Because I remember I think it was the second trailer. One of my criticisms was the soul singer they had in it, the blues soul singer. He wasn't very soulful. And I will say that the acting in this seemed a little bit more, because you know in the previous trailer I also criticized that it almost seemed like the black people were kind of like overacting. This one seemed a little bit more natural. Maybe it's because it's actually showing the clip, so you're a little bit more immersed in it rather than jumping from shot to shot. So I can't wait till we go see this, man. I guess we should probably see Woman in the Yard first, huh? Because it came out first. Yeah, we'll go see that first, because this doesn't come out until late next month. So you guys want to see it next Friday or next Thursday? Woman in the Yard.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on the Sinners clip?
I'm just looking forward to this movie. It's one of rare occurrences where I am looking forward to the movie.
I can't say that I'm like looking forward to it. I am somewhat intrigued though, but I'm not getting my hopes up. But you know, Ryan Coogler, he usually makes pretty good films. There hasn't been a Ryan Coogler movie that I haven't liked, but I haven't seen all of it. Like I haven't seen Black Panther 2. I just refuse to watch it. But every other Ryan Coogler movie I've seen, I've liked. So, when I did hear it was gonna be vampires, it kind of like another vampire movie. But this has a little bit of a different take. So I'm definitely intrigued.
Not to get off subject, but What movie killed the vampire franchise for y'all?
I don't know if there's a particular movie that did it. I would say that I remember growing up with vampire movies, and because they were done on film, they had a certain grittiness to it. It was like grain in the film, and I think it added to the lore. Like you go back and you watch The Lost Boys and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I think by the time you get to stuff like Blade, they started adding all the CG stuff in it. I know. I think there is a movie that killed it for me. That movie with Hugh Jackman in it. What was it called? Was it Van Helsing? Let's look it up real quick. You know what I'm talking about?
Hugh Jackman in it?
Yeah, it was Hugh Jackman. I think it was Van Helsing.
Yeah, that it was Van Helsing.
I hate it. I hate this movie so much. God, I hate this movie so much. I remember going to theaters and seeing it, and I'm like, this is the beginning of 3D slop. It's like all the characters were CGI. It just looked like trash. I was like, are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, the movie killed it for me.
And it wasn't all CGI. I think there was some practical stuff in it too. But for the most part, it was CGI, man. I just hated it. Like, look at that. Ugh. You compare this and you go watch a movie like Dog Soldiers, which, in my opinion, is the best werewolf movie ever made. But that's just my opinion.
I had to give it to The Howling.
Yeah, The Howling's good, but I think Dog Soldiers is a better movie. Yeah, man, I think this is the movie that did it for me when it came to like vampires. Like, yeah, this is kind of dead. And we've made it had a couple movies here and there since this was made that I thought was decent. Like, what was it, 30 Days of Night? 30 Days of Night might have came out around the same time, actually. When did 30 Days of Night come out? Let's see. Van Helsing came out. They didn't do the second one. Van Helsing came out in 2004. 30 Days of Night. 30 Days of Night came out in 2007, so around the same time. This came out a few years later. I remember liking this one.
It was. I liked it too. And Danny Houston, he was actually a pretty good villain in that one.
Yeah, but I always thought Danny Houston would have been a good Magneto, but I didn't. I never watched any of the Twilight movies. I remember when that first movie came out and I saw the trailer, like, yeah, this is definitely not for me.
Well, I didn't watch it. I just I heard the premise of it because as soon as they said vampires working during the daytime and rather than burning up, they sparkle in the daytime. I'm like, yep, I'm never going to see this bullshit. So,
yeah, that's definitely more for a female audience for sure. So yeah, I didn't watch it.
Then they were everywhere. I mean, I understand where you get across on a lot of your franchises that they just need to die. But a vampire is just a classic villain. So you can, if it's written correctly, it can be good. But if it's dog shit, it's going to be dog shit.
Well, I think people they need to just start being a little bit more original with the concept. You get a lot of copycat movies, and you get a lot of movies that they'll tweak the basic lore a little bit, but that's about as far as they go. One of the vampire movies I really, really like, it's called Life Force. It came out in the 80s. You guys ever seen it?
I like to see it. It's been a long time.
Remember this right here?
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
Wow, you've never seen Life Force?
Yeah.
One of the things I liked about it was just conceptually, it was just so interesting. Basically, it was like it was like a joint effort between British and Americans. They created like this new type of space shuttle, and the goal was to go to Halley's Comet, because I think around that same time in the 80s, Halley's Comet was supposed to fly by Earth. So I guess they were trying to bank on that to build publicity for the movie. So in the movie, they create this new rocket ship to go to Halley's Comet, to do experiments, test it. They've never been to a comet before. And when they get there, they realize there's like a 2-mile long spaceship in the tail of Halley's Comet. So they leave the spaceship and they go inside the alien spaceship to kind of investigate. And when they go inside, you see like all these like corpses of like dead aliens. And then when they get to the center of the spaceship, you see these 3 humanoid figures like frozen in the crystals. You know what I'm saying? And the 2 on her side are these naked men, and in the center is this like really, really beautiful woman. And this is her right here. And they take the 3, this is them inside the crystal whatever. And they take them back to Earth. And I'm not gonna give too much away, but basically they're vampires, but
it's a 40-year-old movie. Tell the story.
They're not how
it's 40 years
well they
old.
don't suck your blood. They don't suck your blood, like they drain your life force, right? And then once they drain your life force, you become like this like emaciated, desiccated kind of like corpse, but you're still alive. And if another person comes close to you that still has his life force, you can suck that person's life force, and it's like a plague that goes around the world, man. It's pretty like for what they were trying to do. I don't think they always succeeded, but the scope of the movie, you know, I thought conceptually was really cool in what they did with the budget that they had and the type of effects and stuff they had at the time. I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the movie. I just like the concept, and then like shit. Half the movie is just this chick right here walking around naked. Yeah, she's a good looking woman too. So I could see what at the time. I think it flopped, but I don't think people were ready for it. I mean, this is like an anime type concept. This is something you see like in an anime, you know. But yeah, like I think they need to start doing stuff like that. I just think they need to have more originality with the genre, because one of the things that they sort of hinted at in this movie was these beings, they, you know, when they came close to Earth, I guess in the past they would sometimes visit Earth, and those creatures became what the myths about vampires were based on. You see what I'm saying? So they had a lot of interesting things about it. Yeah. So what movies killed it for you guys when it comes to vampires?
Twilight thing, man.
You said you didn't even watch Twilight.
Since I heard the concept of it, you know, some things you don't need to see to know that they're shit. Like that Batman movie, you watched 2 seconds of it, you knew it was shit. I
turned it off. I was like, this is garbage. So, yeah, I refuse.
I didn't say it's dead to me, because if somebody, like you said, if somebody comes up with a good concept or something that's intriguing, I will pay attention to it. But I'm not going to go out my way to say, oh, it's a vampire movie, so I got to watch it. That's not going to happen. But as far as like way to revive a franchise, like that's another thing. Some things you just need to leave the fuck alone. No remakes. It is what it is. I will say this: there is one vampire movie. What was that movie? It had Colin Farrell in it.
Is that Colin Farrell?
Yeah, he was a vampire.
Oh, okay. It was a remake of
yeah, and it wasn't bad, but
yeah, it was okay. As a remake, it was okay. I like the original better, but the remake was okay. I will say that the new Nosferatu movie looks really good. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it. It's one of those movies where I don't want to a lot of times when I watch movies, it's like when I'm going to bed. So I end up falling asleep on it. It's not that interesting, or it's good and I'm just too sleepy. I'll watch it in pieces, you know. But Nosferatu is one of those movies where when I get some free time, I want to sit down and watch it, you know, in the daytime when I'm fully aware, because it looks like like cinematography wise, it looks really good. Have you seen it yet? Or have you guys?
Haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. But I'll say this:
Yeah, some people are comparing it to Bram Stoker's Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I'm like, man, if they're comparing it to that, you know, because to me that's like peak of vampire movies in my opinion.
I say Bill Skarsgård is killing the game as far as villains. I just don't. But I watched it's something interesting too. I watched a video on Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he has that kind of gaunt. Yeah, he has that kind of gaunt, creepy look to him anyway. So it makes sense that he would be cast as villains.
Yeah. But he's been a number of villains. But like, I don't want him to get.
I heard that.
Heard what?
Yeah, I heard that Crow movie. I heard the Crow movie was trash though. The Crow remake.
Some things you don't got to see to know the shit.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch it either.
But they said Gary Oldman, he was so tight. He was such a good villain. They always wanted to cast him as a villain, and you know, Gary Oldman is probably one of the best movie actors I've ever seen in my life because he's
like his versatility.
Yeah. Like,
but you know, have you noticed though they cast British people as villains a lot in movies, especially the American movies.
Well, you remember he got so good at emulating accents, they had to reteach him his British accent.
No, I did not know that. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I am absolutely positive, man. I sat there like, wow. But overall, I mean, he's pretty dope. The guy who played the guy who played Beast in the last trilogy of X-Men movies.
I know you're talking about.
Can we, you know, he's good at playing a fucking simp. It's like every time I see him, either he's chasing after a woman or a woman like leaving him with a better man. I'm like, come on, man. He played a simp in this movie.
What, Nosferatu?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
She's chasing a vampire, and he's chasing her. I'm like, come on, man.
Oh.
Let them hoes go. She want to be with a dead man. Cool. Bye. But I digress.
All right. Is there anything you want to say on this, particularly about vampires or the Sinners movie, Carbon?
Not really.
You don't have a take on vampires?
Not really.
Okay, so what's the last vampire movie you've seen?
I don't even know.
All right, we'll move on. Guess you're still salty about us trashing on that Batman movie.
No, I haven't seen a vampire movie in forever, dude. I don't.
Oh, you haven't? Well, that's the same one. You can't remember. Can't remember the last one.
I can't even remember, dude.
All right. Let's see.
Maybe like Resident Evil or something like that. I remember that shit one movie, not Resident Evil.
Say those are vampire movies. I don't think. There's vampires in Resident Evil.
It's definitely Resident Evil. I forgot. I can't remember the name of that movie.
All right. The next one we're going to do here is, since we're all artists here, I figure another video about art would be interesting. This is from another YouTuber I follow called, I think his name is Insprigio. Sprigio, let's see. Stupid thing comes up. I'm gonna have to refresh it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Sprigio. What is that? Does that mean inspiration in Italian or something? Inspiradio.
I know this. The Chief's fucking up.
Damn. Why does it keep going back to that point? Jeez Louise. I'm gonna speed it up because it's like a 13-minute long video. I'll do like double the speed.
In a book dedicated to the life of Adolf Hitler titled The Psychopathic God, the name
Is that too fast?
Way too fast.
Little feedback here, guys. Is that too fast?
Way too fast.
Yeah.
Slow it down a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna slow it down.
Franz von Stuck would appear for the first time associated with the most infamous figure.
How about that? Is that good?
Okay.
Guys, is that good?
It's
I said it's okay,
man.
goddamn. What the hell
Can you hear
wrong
me?
with you? You
Can you
can't
guys
hear
hear me? Huh?
It's okay.
Why didn't you say that shit the first time? Say something
We
the first
did.
time.
Yeah, we did. You be back.
In contemporary history, Robert
No,
Waite, the author
no,
of the
no,
book,
here's what happened.
popularized his
Here's
name
what
by
happened.
mentioning.
Hey, is it okay, guys? And I'm waiting for like half a minute before anybody says anything. Say is it good or bad?
Man.
So I can move on. Shit. All right.
And you keep
He was
pausing
the
it.
favorite
So we're not
artist
gonna
of the
get
German
move on.
dictator. It is documented that his paintings were favored by the National Socialist regime, as his name also appears on the famous Gott begnadeten
It's exactly why the channel Shadow Van.
Liste, a list compiled in 1944 by the Minister of Propaganda, which enumerated the artists he considered representative of the Third Reich and who, in his own words, were God. Architects and musicians were included in this. Among the few painters featured of his art from a young age. There are even theories suggesting that his own image was modeled after one of von Stuck's Hunt, in which the Germanic god Wotan is depicted leading an army of the dead.
You can't tell me that doesn't look like Hitler in that painting. Now apparently this is something that was painted way before Hitler was a grown man too.
His appearance seems strikingly familiar, but it's not just this detail that makes the theory compelling. Next, we will analyze the works of Franz von Stuck, explore his most famous paintings, and of course, attempt to uncover Kunstgewerbeschule, School of Applied Arts in Munich in 1878. 3 years later, he entered the city's Academy of Fine Arts. As a student, Stuck made a living as an illustrator for magazines and books featuring contemporary allegories. Unlike the art for which he is best known, these early designs followed the academic tradition that Stuck had adopted during his training. Von Stuck entered the symbolist movement with his painting The Guardian of Paradise, which he presented at the annual exhibition of the Crystal Palace in Munich in 1880. It was the confirmation of his artistic vision. He had to wait 26 years to receive a talent. The popular peasant genre of the time. With this painting, Stuck aligned himself with the soul seen in the works of Max Klinger and Arnold Böcklin, whom we will also discuss later. In this artwork, the biblical cherub designated by God to guard the entrance to paradise is transformed into the ideal of an androgynous youth, embodying the notion of a being elevated above humanity. In the background, the colors burst forth to depict paradise as an ethereal realm beyond visible reality. A beautiful painting, highly praised by the public, but in my opinion, not his greatest masterpiece. Franz von Stuck was the painter Reveries, sought to mock the most important codes of Christian thought. A prime example of this is the Sin. This painting presents one of the most recurring symbolic figures in late 19th century art, the femme fatale, a seductive and wicked woman whose charm can physically and morally destroy. The rest of her body remains in shadow, except for her face, which turns toward the viewer in the midst of darkness. The enormous serpent coiling around the woman's body is chilling, its head just as the seductive woman stares at and ensnares her prey. The analogy with biblical texts is striking, for in the Old Testament, the serpent, symbolizing evil, seduces the naive Eve into taking the forbidden fruit. However, in this painting, it is the woman herself who personifies evil. The sin embodied in the femme fatale is expressed by the artist in a style far removed from classical academicism, using bold contrasts of light and darkness and a clear intention to place the viewer in the ever-captivating position of a voyeur, the lights in a living light and law intervene in the action. Buck was for this theme that he created nearly a dozen versions of this painting, almost identical to each other. However, this one is my favorite. Let me know in the comments which one you like best. To understand why this artist was so admired by Adolf Hitler, it is necessary to analyze not only his pictorial style, but also the artistic movement to which he belonged, symbolism. Although I recently uploaded a video dedicated to this movement, in short, symbolism emerged as an artistic movement that opposed realism and impressionism, distancing itself from the direct representation of the external world to explore the human soul, spirituality, and mythology. In their work, symbolists relied on dreamlike imagery, allegories, and mythological figures to represent psychological states, abstract ideas, and internal conflicts. Franz von Stuck fit perfectly within this movement. His paintings conveyed a world of intense emotions, eroticism, mysticism, and fatalism, with an aesthetic that emphasized dramatic chiaroscuro, rigid figures, and the tension between light and darkness. These characteristics made his paintings evoke an aura of tragic grandeur and destiny, elements that Hitler appreciated in art. The German dictator was not only a frustrated painter, but also a passionate art enthusiast with a very specific conception of what it should represent. To him, art had to exalt the greatness of man, tragic destiny, heroic struggle, and nationalistic spirit. This is where Franz von Stuck comes into play. His work was filled with mythological figures and archetypes of power, especially those drawn from Germanic tradition. The already mentioned painting Die Wilde Jagd, or Wild Hunt, forgive me if my German is not the best, is the clearest example of this. In it, the central figure is Wotan, the Germanic equivalent of Odin, depicted with an uncannily similar appearance to the one Hitler would adopt years later, a fierce gaze, a dark cape, and an air of a messianic leader. It has been theorized that this painting may have influenced the construction of Hitler's public image, as he often saw himself as a predestined figure meant to lead Germany into a new Reich. Additionally, as an interesting fact, the painting was created in 1889, the same year Hitler was born. This small coincidence has led to it being referred to online as the painting that predicted disaster, as if Franz von Stuck had somehow foreseen the future, portraying this man as a terrifying leader before his time. It would not be surprising if this painting, laden with Nordic mysticism and Germanic symbolism, resonated with him in a special way, but we will never truly know. Before we continue, I want to remind you that if you're a lover of art and would like to have a historical piece in your home, you can visit our catalog, a document listing the names of artists deemed indispensable to the spirit of the Third Reich. This list was compiled in 1944 by Joseph Goebbels, Minister of Propaganda, with the aim of protecting certain artists from military service and ensuring their artistic production during wartime. It included musicians, architects, sculptors, and painters whose works were seen as extensions of Nazi ideology. Among these painters was Franz von Stuck, which confirms that his art was not only admired by Hitler, but also by the cultural elite of Nazism. It is important to note that being included in this list did not just signify prestige, but also immunity. While thousands of German soldiers were dying on the front lines, and Germany...
This is very interesting and all, but what's the purpose of it? What was your
we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let's let it play out. We'll get to it.
All right.
When he suffered constant bombings, the artists on the Gottberger Datenliste were able to continue working without fear of being drafted. They were considered part of the nation's soul, and their work had to be preserved at all costs. While painters like Franz von Stuck were celebrated and protected, other artists were persecuted and sent to the label of Entartete Kunst, or degenerate art. The concept of degenerate art was promoted by the Nazi regime to discredit any artistic expression they deemed contrary to their ideology. Under this label fell movements such as Expressionism, Cubism, Surrealism, Dadaism, and even some branches of symbolism that did not align with the aesthetic and propagandistic values of the Third Reich. Artists like Otto Dix, Ernst Ludwig Kirchner, Emil Nolde, Wassily Kandinsky, and Max Ernst were back. The Nazis even organized an exhibition of degenerate art in 1937, where these works were displayed with mocking and derogatory descriptions to discredit them in the eyes of the German public. Unlike these artists, Franz von Stuck was celebrated and promoted. His style fit the Nazi aesthetic because it depicted powerful figures, Germanic mythology, and an ideal of heroic grandeur that resonated with the first. Rather than an indication of any political affinity from Stuck himself. The case of Franz von Stuck served as a clear example of how totalitarian regimes can appropriate art and give it an ideological meaning. The Nazis did not just promote their own concept of ideal art, but they also rewrote art history to fit their narrative. Painters like Caspar David Friedrich, Arnold Böcklin, and Franz von Stuck were exalted as forerunners of German nationalist art, even though during their lifetimes they had no connection to Nazi ideology. What's more, some of Franz von Stuck's works, such as The Sin, carry a strong erotic and symbolist that is aggressive or even contrary to the conservative values of Nazism. But Hitler and his followers selectively reinterpreted these works to fit their worldview. I'd love to hear your opinion about this artist and whether you think it's possible that this man might have been inspired by this painting to shape his image. After all, Hitler was passionate about art, and where else would an art student find inspiration if not in art itself? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video, and don't forget to visit inspiradio.com to purchase your favorite painting. See you soon.
All right. The reason why I wanted to watch that video is because, one, I never heard of the artist. I think I've seen some of his work before. I just didn't know who the artist was. And he has some cool, he has some cool paintings. Like this one in particular is like my favorite. This right here, I think it's Medusa, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I think it's just a powerful image. It just looks really cool. But the reason why I thought it was interesting is because for a while, probably for like the last 3 or 4 years, I've been studying anthropology and how humans behave, like how humans as a collective and civilizations behave. And we're always inspired by the past, and a lot of times we idealize the past. But through doing that, we create new things. So it's the old inspiring the new, right? And I thought it was interesting how the Nazis they took a particular movement in art and were inspired by it, and it led to some pretty disastrous effects. But I think it goes to show you how powerful art can be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it could be used either for good or bad. And I think it was also interesting too how the Nazis saw some art as degenerate. I'm sorry, but here's where I kind of agree with them sometimes. Not saying I agree with Nazis. What I mean is, I think we've lost the art of beauty in our culture. A lot of art I see now that's elevated, particularly in the traditional art world, it's just trash. It'd be like them taping a banana to a wall and they say it's art. Like, what is this? Yeah, or it is literally things where people like shit in a jar and say it's art. I'm like, all right, I mean, it's like. I think we talked about this a little bit before, and that's how the West is kind of degenerating, and how the West is kind of losing the soft power war. I've said it before. I think it's not a mystery, or it's not it's not unknown today that the youth seem to be more inspired by manga than American comics. And there seems to be a little bit more innovation with ideas in manga than it is with American comics. I mean, how many Batman movies we're going to make? How many Superman movies? We can't get anything new or interesting. I mean, there's people out there doing interesting stuff. Like Carbon said, that they don't get the budget. They don't get any money. They don't get why? Because these companies want to bank on what's already worked. You know what I'm saying? Rather than going some new direction or whatever. But I thought it would be a good conversation to talk about how art inspires political movements, how art inspires nations. I mean, you can go all the way back to ancient Egypt, all the way out through Greece, Rome, Samaria, India, and how, art was so powerful that that they had to outlaw making graven images in certain cultures because it's that powerful. And I think that another thing I thought was interesting about it was a lot of people don't know that because a lot of people think that this country, United States, has always been like this super Christian nation. And I think a lot of the Christians, I think a lot of Christians don't realize this is not a Christian nation. This is a secular country. It just has a lot of Christians in it. And there's even been periods in our history where Christianity was on a decline. A lot of people don't know that early on, even though they were very religious, a lot of times they didn't go to church because they were too busy working, and then around the I would say it started in the late 18th century, and all throughout the 19th century, a wave of spiritualism, ran through America, where people were doing seances. They believe in astrology. I mean, they were really, really heavy on astrology and ancient civilizations, and that stuff's starting to kind of resurge now, and mysticism and stuff like that. It got really big in America to the point where there was a pushback by Christians, and it was a conservative pushback that led into the 50s, led into the 40s and the 50s. But in the early 19th, all throughout the 19th century, there's a strong spiritualist movement that actually affected the world. And believe it or not, it hit Europe. And one of the places it hit was Germany. So by the time it was kind of like fizzling out in America, it was booming in Germany, and it kind of inspired the rise of the Nazi Party. In many of the ways, the racist Jim Crow laws here in America inspired the Nazis. A lot of people don't know that we inspired the Nazis. But I thought that was interesting because, the movement he was part of was called symbolism, which is the type of art that I enjoy the most. I like that transcendental symbolist movement the most, because to me, when you look at their art, it sort of inspired a lot of the fantasy artists that I liked when I was growing up, like Frank Frazetta and Waters Viejo and all those guys like that. You can tell they were inspired by, older movements that came before them. And you can even see it in this guy's work. I mean, even though he's depicting biblical and ancient Greco-Roman whatever stuff, it has some very fantasy like elements to it. Now look at this guy with the bow in the back. This is supposed to be like the Odin. First, I didn't really get with that. I guess that's a cloak, like a red cloak around him. But you can tell, where the fantasy artists that I grew up with, they were inspired by this kind of stuff. Especially this right here. I mean, this looks like, even though it's Medusa, doesn't she look kind of like a vampire? But yeah, I thought it was interesting. What you guys think?
You need a girlfriend.
Okay.
But I see where you're coming from. There is a loss of appreciation art. And people who are not artists are actually just being thrown to the forefront just because they feel deep or provocative somehow, some way. And yes, art is supposed to provoke you, it's supposed to put you in a direction. But art can be a feeling. But when you just throw a shit on the wall, all that is shit on the wall.
Yeah, like I said, I think we lost the art of beauty, but yeah, go ahead.
And it's a art shouldn't be an dying art. That's the best way I put it. If it that's why every time I see a kid that shows interest in artwork, either if I don't have a sketchbook or I can give away, or I don't have I'm not near a art supply store, I allow them to draw something in one of my sketchbooks I'm always carrying with me. That can be the next great artist. Just for somebody tell them, hey, you can do it. And sometimes you gotta be honest with people. No, you can't do it. You suck.
Well, see, I actually disagree with that. I remember growing up and everyone, oh, you were born with that talent. You were born with that talent. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think there are people who are naturally gifted, but I think art is a skill. I think anyone can learn that skill, and I think anyone can be relatively good at that skill. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether everyone can make money off of it, no, that's different. But if you wanted to learn to draw the technical aspect of drawing and painting and composition and color theory, you can learn it. I don't think it should be denied to anyone in saying that someone just has more talent and therefore they some God-given talent or whatever. No, it's a skill like almost any other skill. Some people are going to be a little bit better than others, but for the most part, I think most people can learn the skill. All right, guys. I mean, yo, Carbon, did you have anything to say about the video?
Not really anything particular, but yeah, definitely learning art takes a lot of time. And I mean, the one thing you gotta learn, I mean, it's not for everybody. I'm be honest, not everybody has the mindset to be an artist. You know, that's the first thing. You know, but yeah, I mean, I can understand definitely how art influences people, and it definitely influences cultures. I mean, we can just look at propaganda posters. I mean, when you talk about kind of what the video is
Yeah.
talking about, I mean, art
Yeah.
has kind of always been a way to kind of change the minds of people and the way they think. You know, it's a way to tell people to have different views out directly telling them. You go to somebody, they say think differently, you know, and they're just gonna get mad at you. But if you put something in their TV show they watch and you slowly start to put something in there, you'll change some people, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
So, I mean,
it's yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but your art's definitely a way, you know, to change the minds of people in a more subtle way, and they won't even realize it, you know. So it definitely has a lot of emotion that it has the potential to bring. And I definitely know what you're talking about, man. I be seeing some of just most random stuff, man. That will just splash like one thing of paint on the wall, and all the people just be screaming behind. They be like in a whole museum, and I'd be like, bro, the problem with that is it's not about the art. It's about the people spending money that makes the art valuable, right? There's like billionaires and millionaires that be like, oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to spend millions on this, even though it's not artistically good. But that's the main problem, though. If a billionaire makes that art piece worth $1 billion, then that's a good art piece. At least that's the way.
Well, some of that might
see
be money. Some of that might be money laundering. They don't really give a shit about the art, but it's a way for them to launder money. But then some of it, you know, they like some of the abstract stuff. I think they genuinely like. Like who's that one guy? Who's that black guy everyone talks about? Yeah, I think he was mixed race. How do you spell his name?
Scott, BASQ. Yeah, first one.
Yeah. I'm sorry, this guy's art is shit. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I remember we were having a discussion on Facebook years ago about this guy, and you know everyone in the chat was talking glowingly about him. It was a black Facebook group, and I was like, I'm sorry, I think his work is garbage. You know, and they were like, well, and they, you know, all the different like excuses or give me all these reasons as to why it's good. And you know what I said? I was like, okay, if he wasn't hanging around a bunch of white yuppies who kind of like lifted him up and said his stuff was good and got him into galleries and stuff like that, and he was just a bum on the street trying to sell one of his pieces of art, right? Like, would you buy it or would you even care about it? And some people try to say that, yeah, they would. I was like, you're lying through your fucking teeth. You're lying through your teeth. His work became popular because of who he was around. Like Andy Warhol guy, right? And I'm not trying to take anything away from him because, you know, part of success sometimes is just being in the right place and knowing the right people. So I'm not trying. What I'm saying though is for people to say they like his work, it's only because, like, you know, he was made popular by someone, you know. Otherwise, you wouldn't turn a second eye at it. It's because this is like something I did when I was in the 4th grade. But you know, again, this is just not my type of art. So I'm more on the Nazis for like this is degenerate, degenerate art. But I'm not one of these types of people where you're gonna, you know, people should be persecuted or whatever. Look, if someone wants to enjoy this type of art, have at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that type of guy. Like, I don't think people should be persecuted for liking a certain type of art unless it's just like, you know, pornographic. And I don't mean necessarily like sexual. I mean by pornographic, like this is what's the term I'm looking for? This is a detriment to society. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like CP, but you're trying to present it as art. Like, nah, that's CP. No, you know. If you know, like that, okay, that should be outlawed and you should be fighting against that type of thing. But this right here, I remember even as a kid, I'm like, well, why? Like, look at this. Like, what is this? What is that? I just never liked this stuff, man. I never liked it. But yeah.
But fellas, I'm gonna have to call it early tonight. I agree with
It's
you.
actually not early. It's about right on time. About 10 o'clock. It's about the usual time that we end. So
But
I guess I'll see you guys. Well, did we ever decide on which day we wanted to go?
You said next Thursday like 4 times now.
Well, I said Thursday or Friday, but yeah, we can go Thursday.
All right. Oh man, I agree with you. That's got his shit. That one, I'm out.
All right. I'll see you later, man.
Are we not
All
gonna
right,
try to
Tom.
work off before we leave like we normally do?
I didn't do shit, so ain't nothing to show.
You got some new stuff on there. You got some what was that?
No, I'm just playing around now.
Okay. I mean, all right.
That's a potato head right there, bro.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with sketching. Yeah.
Just playing around, son.
That's pretty good. You did the Vegeta from scratch. No references.
We've been watching Dragon Ball for almost. We've been watching Dragon Ball for 30 years. You can't draw Vegeta by now. You got problems.
All right.
Yeah.
What you got, Carbon? What you got?
So I'm still just working on that one outfit. Add a little bit more.
Yeah, it's looking good, man.
I'm saying the good thing is I actually modeled this, and I hadn't even started sculpting yet. So once I start sculpting and adding like more detail, it'll look a lot better. But I modeled this detail so far, and I'm gonna make like a zipper at some point. I started making it, it's just I haven't made the rest of it yet. But I'm trying to add more detail in the clothing. I'm gonna attempt to.
So this isn't all sculpting. This is modeling too.
Everything's modeled so far. I haven't sculpted anything yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm gonna start sculpting at some point to add more detail, but I'm only modeling so far.
Yeah.
G-Flex, I just realized where I got some part of this idea for this image I'm working on right now. I started at.
Does this dress look okay or what?
Yeah, it looks good. What were you saying, Mr. Bad Knee?
Bad Knee. I just realized where I got like it just dawned on me where part of the idea for this came from. You drew something for Darian a long time ago when we were in college, and his hand was messed up. You drew the full image and didn't realize that he was holding this Rubik's Cube wrong. Do you remember that image?
That wasn't Darian, that was Leslie.
Leslie, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that's
I I actually don't know what you mean by it was messed up.
He is holding he drew the whole hand and he was holding the Rubik's Cube with his pinky and thumb. And we didn't realize it until you showed it to us. Like, Brian, what the hell's wrong with his hand?
I
think
remember
you fixed it.
Yeah, maybe so, because I don't remember. Let's pull up the image. Let's see what you're talking about here.
I don't have the image. You would have an image.
Yeah, I'm about to pull it up now.
I think you fixed it. So I can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna share. I want to find it first because it's on my DeviantArt account. Actually knows. Yeah, it'd probably be faster to find it on the ArtStation. Let's see. Mr. Darian Formid. Damn, I don't really know how many pages I got on this thing. Okay. All right, I see it here. Let me maximize it.
I can't see what you're talking about. I see my artwork. I see yours.
All right, so let me share my screen. All right. Talking about this image.
It wasn't that one. It was another one you drew.
I mean, that's the only one that I know of where he has a Rubik's Cube. And he is kind of. Huh?
He was like, it was another image. It wasn't that one.
See, I mean, it's the only one that I know of where he has the Rubik's Cube. Let's see. Sort through them here real quick. Was it in the? Couldn't have been in the comic. It had to be an art piece.
It was an art piece. I don't think it was in the comic.
Yeah, it's not in the comic because I don't remember him having the Rubik's Cube in the comic. That's the only one that I know of, dude.
Keep on going. We might see it.
Yeah, that's the only one that I know of where he has the like Rubik's Cube.
It was a black and white image. Go back up.
This is from the comic, though. Remember this? I mean, this was a black and white image, so I added color to it. And I don't remember changing anything for it.
Well, might have just been. I don't think you've ever been somebody to throw away the artwork, so I don't know.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. Usually, I remember if I remember one time I drew a character with 6 fingers. I didn't realize it. But yeah. Okay. All right, we'll get out of here, guys.
Same time next week, people.
Yeah, just send me. You guys make sure you send me what you want to talk about. I was going to talk about another subject. They're making a Zelda live action movie.
Yeah, and
that sounds horrible.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, why? Why would they do that?
They're making a Zelda live action movie. They're making a God of War live action movie. They're making.
They gotta be kidding me with these live action movies, man.
I heard they're making a Claymore series, live action series.
But that one might work.
I did.
Though.
I remember. I remember saying. Go ahead.
I felt that was a lot simpler. You know, they don't have it. I mean, I guess they do have crazy powers, but it's not as crazy as like Dragon Ball, right? Where they like just like you saw how that movie turned out. You know, it's like
are you talking
I
about
feel
Zelda?
like a series like that can be more grounded in reality, especially they use some cool CGI when they transform or whatever. And not even CGI, they could just use actual practical effects. Actually,
please don't use CGI.
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, they technically could use practical effects.
Practical effects and makeup, man. Please don't use it.
Yeah, because I mean,
for certain things they would have to use CGI, but you know, come on, man. Like, you know, not everything.
But I don't think they need to use a lot of it, you know, because most of the time.
Are you talking about for Claymore?
Yeah, they wouldn't even have to. Not a whole lot. I don't think.
Here's what I'll say about Zelda, though. I've never been a Zelda fan. I've never liked Zelda. I never thought he looked cool or she looked cool and it's never anything. I never liked anything.
Zelda are two different characters, man.
Well, I said she. I remember I corrected it. I said she. But the main character Link, I never thought like that Santa hat that he wears. Like, come on, what is this? I was like, what is this? But so for me, someone that who doesn't know much about the lore, I've never liked the aesthetic for any of the Zelda stuff. If they can do a cool looking and interesting aesthetic for the live action, and if I find the lore interesting, I would probably be interested in seeing something like that because I just don't know enough about Zelda to care. Where I can see someone who's played the Zelda game since the original came out with that golden cartridge and everything, you know, who were like, no, they're gonna screw it up. I can see them saying, hey, I don't want them to mess it up. But for me, like, I don't know anything about it, so I'd probably watch it, you know, just to see because I'm not interested in playing the games. So I would be somewhat interested in knowing more about it. So I would probably watch it if the trailer looked good. If the trailer like shit, then no, you know. So, but I see where you're coming from, where you guys coming from. Like if you're a fan of the franchise and you don't want them to screw it up. Like I'm a big fan of Claymore, but I've been advocating for a Claymore live action movie, like a trilogy. I don't necessarily want a series. I think it's better as a trilogy of movies, but because I think Claymore would lend itself well to live action if done right, if they had the right creative team. I'm not as sure about Zelda. You guys tell me if you think Zelda would be.
I mean, the main problem is like Link doesn't really talk. So I'm like, how are they supposed to handle or not Link? Yeah, Link. He didn't really talk at all. So I'm like, what are they supposed to do about his character? He's always
it's called hiring a good writer. You know, I think that's what one of the main problems.
I mean, that's hard in the modern day, bro. I
it's not hard.
That many good interpretations of characters that don't talk do well. Not in the last couple of years, I haven't seen a good interpretations of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that if they hired a good writer who could translate it well, I think it could work. But you know, there's good writers out there. Hollywood won't hire him. I guess.
Yeah,
You won't hire him.
you are definitely right about that.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. With that, guys, we'll get out of here. It's almost 10 o'clock. Thanks for showing up. But make sure you guys. I guess next week we'll do the whole show based on Woman in the Yard. So what do we say? Thursday? Where's my pen at? I had a pen. Wait, I'm gonna write this
What
down.
time are we meeting up
We're
Thursday?
getting see now, man. How many times you gonna say Thursday?
I thought it was Thursday, but
Yeah, what time?
we could do it Friday.
You said Thursday like 18 times.
I said Thursday or Friday. I've been saying both
Like
twice.
my thing is what time? I get off work at like 4, so you know what time.
So you got Thursday it is.
I mean, I work 4 Thursday or Friday. It doesn't matter to me. I just need to know what time we're gonna meet the movie theater.
What about you?
I ain't doing shit.
Huh?
I ain't
So
doing
Thursday.
shit.
So we're doing it
Thursday's
Thursday.
fine.
So let's say we'll go to the movie theater closer to you, Demetrius. So when we pick you up,
well, that works.
huh?
That
Yeah,
works.
it's-
What time though? Because I got to drive over there.
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Azalea Theater.
And if I go straight there, we're gonna definitely have to get some food before we go over there. If we go.
Yeah, I figured we were gonna do that anyway.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So
I'm
we
sure.
got Regal Azalea. And let's go to Thursday. Here we go.
We can have this
Thursday.
discussion. Y'all just fill me in on your plans.
No, go ahead so you can hear now. I'm almost there. Thursday, and then it's going to be Woman in Black. There's a showing at 6:50 p.m., so almost 7 o'clock. So you guys want to go to the 6:50?
That works.
All right, cool. So Thursday, 6:50 p.m., and then we'll do the show that next day, Friday, on the Woman in the Yard. All right. Talk to you guys Thursday.